Where did they live, do you know?
Toledo.
But do you know what house or where it was?
Yeah, Uncle John's house. How old was I then? That's when we shopped there. And we lived upstairs in the shoe shop. I used to spend all my summers in Toledo. Well, when I was a kid and we used to go swimming at the Maumee River there, that was during the Depression in the 30s. Yeah, I'd be down at the end swimming as a kid. You couldn't reach bottom there. I remember when they used to have the circus there. Parliament
Down in the field.
down in the field there, at the garden, where you had the garden.
Right.
Toledo's a nice city. No, before the war, well, my dad gave me when I was in high school, he gave me a Model A. He gave me a Model A, where you open the door and the seat went forward. Green Pontiac, Jordan bought me. I hated that car. It was no man's car.
Were you drafted or did you just volunteer for the service?
We were going to Bowling Green. Birch was going to Bowling Green. Betty's brother was going to Bowling Green, and I was going to Bowling Green. We were going to Bowling Green. Birch
You were drafted. Ask him about when he got shot down.
You got shut down?
Took him a long time to get back home.
He was written up in the papers
His position was...
as a hero. I've got a whole
Yeah.
book made
Oh,
up.
really, though?
Began Chris and I when I was stationed in Lincoln, Nebraska, and Chris was there before me, Bulgarian, Macedonia. They had a lot of P-38s there, and I always wanted to fly in a P-38. The reason I liked it is because it had two engines. I'd have a spare to fly with.
Yeah.
I asked Chris if he could get me a ride with one of the pilots there. He got me a ride, and he says, but if you throw up, you're going to clean it. I sure did throw up. They were going to send me San Antonio, Texas. We'd finish our college training, and we were waiting to go to, and then they scrubbed the program.
How did you get to be a gunner?
Oh, so they sent me to gunnery school in Kingman, Arizona, and Chris was there again. They transferred him from Lincoln, Nebraska. I was designated a lower ball. If you got hit and it was in an odd position, the electrical stuff wouldn't work, you couldn't get out. I used to pack a whole mess of flak suits around.
You
my
take
body.
everybody else's.
They'd be looking for their flak suits, and I'd have them down there like
Yeah,
a bird, like a bird.
Yeah, tell the truth.
And when I finished my training at Kingman, Arizona, we went to MacDill Field in Florida, took our night training there. Well, anyhow, I left Kingman, Arizona, and I went to St. Louis, Missouri, Jefferson Barracks, and then they sent me to pilot training. Missouri State Teachers College. I was going to be a pilot. Then they scrubbed the programs, took courses there, and then we were flying Piper Cubs. And then they scrubbed the program. Betty's brother was in the same program, not at the same college. He was in North Carolina. Yes, her brother originally was in the infantry, so they sent him back to the infantry. He got killed in the Battle of the Bulge. And then we flew, got on the crew together, and then we flew overseas, the northern route. We went to Bangor, Maine, Iceland, Greenland, Labrador, Wales, and then to our base in England. And then we started flying missions going to Germany. And so we started flying missions, and third mission, we got shot down over Berlin. We were bombing Berlin. The third mission, we got shot down, and we crash landed in Poland, in Warsaw. But the Russians were there. The Russians they thought that we were Germans, we weren't American. And they said Germanцы, that means German. And I told them in Macedonian, it's Amerikanцы. So then everything was all right. That airfield was still mined, but we didn't hit any mines. And so we stayed in Poland for a while. And
When you were in Poland, though, you had to get back to your base.
yeah,
How did you do that?
we got hit and we couldn't keep up with our formation to go back to England. So we had to feather two of the engines. And then we hid in the clouds and headed towards the east. They used to instruct us in briefing to go towards Russia. You know, when we flew east, we'd come out of the clouds, then there was a Russian jet fighter that flew alongside of us. And I could see his face today, you know. And we tip our wings. That was the signal that we're friendly. And he tipped his wings and flew off. So then we crash landed in Poland, and then no one was injured, so we put up a flare, green flare. They gave us orders to report to our nearest base as soon as possible. Well, I took my time. They don't fly over enemy territory, so they fly you from Poltava to Egypt, Cairo, Egypt. I stayed there a while. Saw the Sphinx. Then from
Rode a
there,
camel, right?
Huh?
I've seen a picture of you on a camel.
Yeah, yeah. And then we went to Iraq. Then we went to Tunisia, Tunis. Found a plane to take me to Naples. I stayed there, saw the ruins of Pompeii. Then from there I went to Paris, stayed there, saw the Valley Bourget, what do they call it?
College was there.
Yeah, and the Eiffel Tower.
Were you collecting money all this time?
They had the Red Cross, and they give you money. But my sister used to send me money. My stepdad would send, my mother, and my dad. I had money coming out of all pockets.
From Paris, you had to go back to England?
England, and then flew the rest of them, I forget.
And how long did it take you though to go from Poland
Yeah, they didn't.
all the way around and back?
How long?
Yeah, from
that
Poland
was
to the
rough.
Ukraine, to
It was
Egypt, to Naples, to Paris, to England.
I don't know, I'd have to look at the.
Had to
my
take you,
records.
what, a couple months?
Yeah. Towards the end of the war, we used to fly a lot of missions, maybe 3-4 missions in a row.
So you flew, though, after you got shut down, you flew more missions after
Yeah.
that.
Were you afraid?
No.
Why, you're too young, too stupid?
Probably, yeah.